Totally impromptu live. I was just getting ready to craft for Carter's birthday, and I thought that I would go live while I do it. I'm feeling a little chatty today, so I figured I would come on and say hello. So I know some of you are going to be sad because I didn't announce this. So you may not be able to join us live. I'm just, yeah, just working on some birthday party stuff, and I have some more computer work to do, but to be honest with you, I'm getting a little tired of computer work. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do something fun and go live. So I'll give you guys a moment for notifications to go out and all the things. And then I am going to get started. Hi, Trish. Welcome. I'm going to pull up the comments actually on my cell phone so that I can see what you guys are saying. I am going to start, hold on, I'll show you guys, actually, before I pull up the comments, let me show you my inspiration photo, if I can even find it. Let me look at my screenshots, and I'll show you guys what I'm aiming for. Because I'm starting, I realized that like the countdown is really on now. I really need to get on Carter's birthday stuff. So Carter, my son, turns 1 on September 7th. And so we're having his birthday party that day because it's a Saturday. So I need to hurry up and get some of the crafts that I want to get done for his birthday. And so the first thing I thought I would start with is a little banner for his high chair. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to see this. But it's just like a cute little banner. Now this is, I think, is a set from Amazon. Yeah, but I'm definitely gonna make this myself because this is super easy. So what I'm gonna be doing here is I already have some wooden beads, and then I'm gonna make this center part out of felt, and then I'll just make some big tassels. And what I'm gonna do today is start on those tassels because tassels are super easy to make yourself. And I thought about buying some different colors of yarn, and I might, but I only have white, and I also have this plain twine. So I might just start with those things. So we'll see. We will see. But let me get this, the comments pulled up here on my other phone, excuse me, and then I'll jump into this craft. Let's see if my phone is like processing that we're live. I don't know if it will or not. I usually pull this up on my computer, but it doesn't always work that way. DIY Alex. There we go. Cool, cool. Okay. If you haven't already, make sure you say hello in the comments. Okay, cool. So I have this pulled up so I can see what you guys are saying. And we'll go ahead and get started. So there are lots of different ways, actually, I think that you can make tassels. But the way that I really like to do it, hi, Diana, welcome. I know, I cannot believe that Carter is going to be a whole year old. Like, you guys, that is so wild to me. It's so much fun, but it is so wild. Time really goes by as fast as everybody told me that it would. And it is such a bittersweet thing for me, because I just love him so much and think he's so cute, and I want him to stay my baby forever. But I'm also so proud and so excited for him to turn 1, and he gets funnier and cuter by the day, I swear. So let's talk about tassels. One of my favorite ways to do this is using a hardcover, like good size, thick book. So I have a couple different sizes here, and I may make one of each just to like see what we like. So this is a really, really thick book though. Honestly, if you have a hardcover Bible, it'd be great for this too. But this one is really, really tall, and this one's a little skinnier. Hold on, sorry. Can't hold my hands like that. So this one is a bit taller, which is gonna affect how big the top is. Hi, Dee, welcome, welcome. So that's gonna affect how big the top part of the tassel is. So I actually may start with this book first. This is a biography about Elon Musk. It's really, really interesting. I read it earlier this year, and I think I might start with this book because I think this is going to be a better size. This one I think may be a little bit too thick, but I brought both up here just to see. And what I like to do is start by taking off the hardcover because we don't need the hardcover. And the reason that the book is so helpful for making tassels is because I can actually slip my finger in underneath once I wrap the tassel to like get a piece of yarn in to tie it all together. So it works out really, really well. Hey, Irma, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Sorry, excuse me. Good to see you too, Dee. I know, I'm always on during dinner time, aren't I? You're right, it is almost 5 o'clock. And my babysitter's only here for a little while longer, so I won't be able to stay on too long, but I was just feeling chatty. So I figured I would just go ahead and say hello. Diana said he'll be going to school before you know it. What a cute banner, love it, thanks. Sorry, I'm still reading your comment. I'm gonna make them for our grandchildren. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, that's a great idea, Diana. Well, granted, you could change the number, but also they won't be in a high chair for a super long time. So you could hang up this banner somewhere else, but this is specifically for like when he opens up, or like when when we sing to him and he like, well, blows out the candles, which I'm probably not gonna put on his cake. But you know, when we sing to him and all that stuff, this is gonna go on his high chair, but you totally could make this. That is a really interesting idea, Diana, because then you could reuse it like for multiple kids, like grandkids, or in my case, you know, future kids, then I could reuse it. That's a great idea, especially if I just do little beads and like white yarn. That would be super, super versatile for pretty much any birthday theme. So that is a really smart idea. I'll have to think about that when I do it. And I was thinking about doing a video for all of the crafts I make for his birthday. Granted, are we gonna get as many done as I want to? Probably not. But I probably should turn on a camera for everything that I make so that I can make like a birthday party decor video, especially because we are doing the Wild One theme and it's a really, really popular theme right now. So I'm sure lots of people would love to DIY this. And even though of course I'm going to use my Cricut for the felt part of the banner that I showed you guys, like you could totally do this by hand. You really don't need a Cricut for this particular one because making tassels doesn't require a Cricut and you can cut felt with just scissors. You don't have to have a Cricut machine. So, there are lots of great ways to do this. And I have a friend that I actually met in Lamaze class when I was preparing to have Carter. And her birthday party for her baby is the 24th of August. So I'm getting ready to go to her house and I'm putting up a sign for her daughter. And so I'm just like thinking about all the first birthday things. It's like really on my mind right now. Okay, so let's start wrapping this tassel because it does take a little bit of time. So a couple of key things when you wrap a tassel around a hardcover book. You want the, I don't know, the spine to be facing down at the bottom of your tassel, and you want the opening of the book to be at the top. That way you can actually reach your fingers to it, and you can actually, like I'll show you when we finish up, but it's important that you hold it that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold my yarn like this, and we are going to trim this tassel. So it doesn't need to be super neat or anything, but you want the bottom or the end of the yarn to start at the bottom of your tassel so that it doesn't get lost in the top. And then we're just going to take this book and I'm just going to start wrapping. So, and you know what? I may even throw my yarn down on the floor. That way I can just wrap and wrap and wrap. Actually, I'm going to have to probably cut this part off. But that's the thing about tassels, though they are very, very easy to do. They are a bit time consuming. So once you get the hang of it, this is a great thing to do like while you watch TV or like while you do something else because it is a little tedious, but it's fun. Okay, I'm cutting this off. Okay, you guys, so other things that I have thought about doing for Carter's birthday, I got really ambitious and I bought some fabric and a sewing pattern for a little boy's outfit for his birthday, to be determined on if I finish this outfit. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I've never made clothes before and it's kind of complicated. Okay, Diane, I think you're responding to making this reusable. Oh, if you made the number to be changed, you can just change the number, not the banner part. Yes, exactly. So that you can just change the number. And if you do felt, that's probably pretty easy to do. And I like my tassels to be pretty thick, so I'm going to wrap this for a bit. It's definitely a time-consuming process, but like I said, it's also really, really easy. And I have a short tutorial on this. So if you guys come across this video and you decide you want to make a tassel, I have a short tutorial on this too, somewhere way back in my YouTube channel, because I made a video for this back in like maybe 2020. It's been a really, really long time. But I do have a video showing you how. That's the other nice thing is like you want to try to keep the yarn together, but you don't have to be super neat about it because we're going to be able to pinch it all at the top really easily. So it's just really simple to do this. So I'm just going to wrap and wrap and wrap. This is also great because I feel like a really easy to collect item in your craft room is yarn. So if you have a ton of extra yarn, this is tassels are a great way to utilize them because you just end up with so much of it and you're like, what am I going to do with this? I guess unless you crochet. You guys are so fast. Love it. Okay. I'm a little out of practice, so I didn't really think about how thick I want these tassels, but I feel like that looks pretty good. Okay. So I like my yarn, like this is going to be a pretty good size tassel. So we'll start with this. So that's what it looks like before I cut it off. I'm going to go ahead and cut off some yarn at the bottom. And like I said, we're going to be trimming all this, so it doesn't have to be perfectly neat or anything. Next up, I am going to get a good size piece, and this is going to be holding the top together. So I like to leave plenty of space here. I'll say this is maybe, actually I have my mat down in front of me. This is about 9 or so inches long, which is a little excessive, but this will be how we hang the tassel. So we want to make sure that we leave plenty of room here. Then, if I can get all this through, hopefully I can, we're going to bring everything to like the side of the book. And what we want to do is we want to feed the piece of yarn we just cut underneath all of this so we can gather it at the top. And this is pretty thick, so it might be a little tricky to do. We're going to give it a try. Just kind of feed it all under there. Like this. Okay, so this is getting kind of tricky and it's really tight to the book. I probably wrapped it a little too tight. So I may have to pull it off before I finish this piece. But let's see. I feel like I probably made a very rookie mistake there, wrapping it too tight. But like I said, I don't think I've made a tassel in like, gosh, probably 4 years, 5 years or so. Okay, well, this is getting a little too tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slip everything off, but I'm definitely going to keep this bunched at the top. Ooh, Kay said next time lay the string down before you wrap it. That's a good idea. And Trish said, ooh, could you put the yarn on the pages first? Trish, that is a really, really good idea. Probably could do that next time. And just like lay a piece of yarn all the way across the pages. That would definitely be a good idea. Okay. But that's all right. We'll make it work. So I have the whole thing with my fingers right here. You know what? That's a good idea too, but I don't have a crochet hook, but I should. Okay. So we have our piece of yarn and we're going to go ahead and tie it at the top first because you definitely want to anchor everything in place. So we'll start with that. And we're going to tie it nice and tight there at the top. Just like that. And that'll stay in. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab another piece and we're going to kind of create like the head of the tassel by tying it around like that. It also kind of looks like a little ghost. That could be cute for Halloween if you like wanted to make little yarn ghosts. Oh, and I did cut it off. Okay. I may have missed a loop there because that's really long, but that's all right. So we'll cut another piece that's like a similar length. So we'll cut it approximately the same, even though we're not going to need that much. And I'm sorry, guys, I can't hold this up and show you how I'm tying it, but I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so I tied my second piece around like this, and then I have some extra overhang, so I'm going to trim off both of these pieces. And I actually may knot it one more time just to make sure it doesn't come undone. And then we get to trim our tassel and give it a bit of a haircut, which is fun too. And if you guys want, in the description of this video, I will share the tassel tutorial that I have where I showed you guys how to do it. Like a little bit of a quicker, more concise video than this. Okay, so then we want to find the center of our loops again. And we want to try to get them all on the correct side. So see how some of these like got all stuck to one side? We want to spread this out so that it's a little bit more even, I guess might be the best way to put that. Okay. And then we'll give her a haircut. And really what's great about these is they're really, really hard to mess up. So even if you're not super perfectly neat, that's okay too. Because you can always trim everything to size and like nobody's ever gonna know. Okay, so I've got everything inside here. I'm just pulling on the bottom. These are not my sharpest scissors. I should probably be using my other scissors. We're just gonna give this guy a big haircut. Make sure I'm holding on the right ones. There we go. Let me grab my little bit sharper scissors. That'll make this easier. Okay. So we're going to give another haircut to finish cutting the rest of the loops. Then we'll trim it to make it even. There we go. Okay, I think we got most of them. Some of the pieces are falling away and it's looking a little crazy, but it gets so much cuter once you get everything all trimmed up. Okay. And that's another great reason if you're going to be using a book or something, it makes your tassels nice and even, which is really nice. So that's a great way to ensure that they're going to be even. Okay, so we have all this together. And what we'll do now is I'm just going to like kind of hold the parts of the tassel down like this. Kind of like I'm giving it like an actual haircut. And we'll just start trimming. So I'll have to go back and get the other pieces because I can't hold them all in my fingers at once. I'll just kind of cut along my fingers there until these ends are cut off. Perfect. I'm definitely getting fuzzies everywhere, but that's okay. Okay. So I only held it upside down to show you guys what I was doing because typically it would be better, of course, to hold it like this. So now we'll go ahead and do the other side too, where I'm like trying to smooth everything down, kind of comb it out with my fingers. And then I'll pinch when I need to. And it's kind of hard because I want to put the scissors in my left hand. So maybe I'll flip the tassel around so I can always cut with my left hand because I am left-handed. So if I don't cut with my left hand, this tassel will truly be a hot mess. We can kind of see the line that I started to create with the others. So I'll go through and try to like trim everything to like the same ish length. And then we can give a closer haircut once everything is trimmed out. Okay. Well, gotta make sure this is gonna stay up. Let's see if I have something to hold this up. Let's see, let me think here. So I have my other tripod right here. Maybe what I'll do is hang my tassel off my tripod, and then I will be able to use both hands to hold everything. So I'm gonna make my tripod a little taller, and we'll work with it like that. There we go. So this is my other like little mini tabletop tripod, and I'll just sit it so it's everything's sitting up straight. And then for now, I'll put a little loose knot in the top so I can hang it. And that'll make this so much easier, I think. So I'll keep my knot really loose so that I can adjust it when I want to put it on my other one, or on my actual banner. I'll try to tip you guys forward. This tripod's a little funky that I have you guys on. There we go. I know you're kind of sideways, so sorry. It's not the best angle. Here, I'll just lower it. There we go. Sorry, folks. It's not our best angle ever, but that's okay. All right. That's a little bit better. So now I'm going to work this little guy down a little bit. You know what? I think last time I wrapped this part multiple times. So I may do the other tassels a little differently, but that's okay. So I'm going to trim all of this. Grab a couple of stray ones. But honestly, that looks pretty good. Yeah, now that I think about it, I definitely wrapped that multiple times. But it turned out super cute, and I think this is probably like the perfect length, or the perfect size to hang on a little like high chair banner. I mean, this will be super cute. So that's ultimately what it looks like. And I don't know. I'm really conflicted on if I want to stick with all white yarn, since that's what I already have, or if I want to go get some more colors and stuff. And is it perfect? No, because you can see like the folds in half here and stuff, but this will be perfect for my little guy's high chair banner. Yeah, I think it'll be so cute. I'm getting so excited, you guys. So also pray for me as I start learning how to sew, because I've never made clothes before, but I really am excited to do it. And I've gotten started a little bit. I traced my pattern, the size that I wanted, onto parchment paper that I actually was using for sublimation before. So I need to cut these out. And the reason that I did this, you guys probably know that if you sew, but the reason that I traced it is because I don't want to have to cut my pattern into the size I want it. I want to be able to use my pattern in different sizes in the future. So I traced the size I wanted from the pattern piece onto the parchment paper, and then I'll just cut the parchment paper out for the correct size. So I need to really step on it though, because I've got some time and I've got to figure it out, because I'm sure I'm going to run into things that I have never run into before. And I probably have time to make one more tassel, so I'll maybe do that. Renee said she always did the same thing with her patterns. Yeah, when I started looking up, like I have to, and that's another thing that's like really different for me, is that I have to look up every single thing that I do. before I do it when I sew, because I don't know what I'm doing. So like I had to look up on YouTube, like I bought patterns and I bought fabric. And in fact, I'll show it to you guys because it's super cute. We're going to take your advice, Irma, and I'm going to lay this down on my book before I get started. But let me show you the fabric real quick. It's so cute. Okay. So I wasn't sure if I was going to buy anything when I went to Joann's, but the other weekend, it was a few weeks ago, I like needed a mommy break. So I told my husband, I was like, can you keep Carter because mama needs a break? And so I went to walk around Joann's because I am excited about learning to sew. And I had it in the back of my mind that I might make something for Carter to wear for his birthday. And then we knew we were going to do the Wild One theme. And then I came across this fabric. Is that not so cute and so perfect for a Wild One? Like all the different colors of Monstera leaves with like the little, I don't know what you'd call that, but like the little animal pattern in between. Literally so cute. And I just want to say, if I had all the time in the world and all the money in the world, do you guys know the business that I would start? I would start a business for little boy stuff, because there is so much cute girl stuff out there, but it is so hard to find like super cute and unique boys clothes and accessories and even like sewing patterns. There's a million like dresses and bows and all this cute stuff, and I think all of that is adorable, but there's hardly anything out there for little boys. And I'm just like, man, I really wish I had some more options. But I found, let me show you guys the picture of what the pattern looks like. So it looks like this. And so I'm going to be making this outfit here. So of course the shirt is going to be the fabric I just showed you. And then I just bought some like, oh my gosh, like some khaki colored fabric for some little shorts for him. Yeah, that's what Dee said too. She said trains and airplanes, etc., which is not bad. Like I like those things too, but you know what I mean? Like for girls, there's just like ample options. There's skirts and, you know, little bodysuits and dresses and bows. And obviously, like I'm not going to dress Carter in the same things a girl would wear. I would do uniquely boy clothes, but I feel like we could be so much more creative in that realm, because there's so much creativity around girls' clothes. And I wish that I had the time and the effort or the effort to put in on something like that, because I would love to see like a boys only boutique, honestly, is what I would love to do, and create stuff just for little boys, because I think that there's so much more potential out there. You know, it's like trains and airplanes, sharks and dinosaurs is everything little boy related, and all that stuff is fine, but I just think we could do better for our boys. So anyway, that's my rant. We'll see how that works for me, how this pattern works for me when I go to make it. So let's make one more quick tassel and then I'll have to jump off. But I'm going to follow Irma's advice and I'm going to lay a piece of yarn across my book. I'm sure there would be a market for it 2D, especially for boy moms, because I was going through this last summer when I was picking out all the stuff for Carter. I felt like everything was like just so bland. And I also, this is just a personal preference thing. I am not, what do they call it? Like a beige mom or whatever, where there's like no color in things. I personally, you guys know me, obviously my walls of my office are purple. I love color for everything. So even like boyish colors and stuff, it's just hard to find cute stuff that's not just like neutral, that could just be anything. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my string hanging down at the bottom. Even though it's going to be a lot longer, that's okay. And I'm just going to start wrapping. And I'm going to throw my yarn on the floor so that it's easy for me to grab a bunch. Yep, this was a good idea, Irma. I know, Dee, I want to start something new. I really do. I can barely run DIY Alex, let alone in a whole nother business. But that would be like my passion project. Maybe one day when I have some extra time, I'll start another business, because I think it would be so fun. Okay, so and the only tricky thing about making the tassels is making them the same width. Like they can be the same length because they're going to be from, you know, the same book, but it's going to be tricky a little bit to get them to be the same width because you want to wrap approximately the same number of times, and that's really hard to remember. So we'll just have to guess. Something like this. I don't know, does that look about right? I feel like it does. Oh, and there's my starter string. I want to make sure that doesn't get wrapped all the way up, but okay, we'll go a couple more. But to be fair, the only one scrutinizing my tassels on my son's birthday banner. Yeah, I know, Kristen, I should count my wraps, but the thing is that I get too distracted. That would be a great plan for somebody who is really good at focusing, which I wasn't good at before, but ever since Carter has been born, focus is hard to come by around here for me. So that's why I'm live today instead of doing other work that I need to be doing. All the things. All right, so we're gonna cut this off because I think that's close enough. And now this time, because we made things a little easier, I'm gonna start by tying the tassel at the top before I even take it off the book. And we wanna do a nice tight knot up there because that's gonna kind of hold everything together. So we definitely want to tie that good and tight. Kay said, oh, thanks, Kay. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, because it's just really tricky to find stuff for boys. Okay, I did not do a very good job of making this very tight, but that's all right. Apparently, we're just winging the whole thing. So, all right. So I've got my knot here in the top. That's going to keep everything from getting really crazy when I pull it off the side of the book. And next, we're going to wrap the top. So hopefully these will look similar by the time everything's all trimmed out. Oh, a silly suit, Kay. The name of that is so cute. Okay, so let's find our top pieces. And I'm gonna make another really loose knot at the top, just like I did before, so I can hang it from my little tripod. Just to make things a little bit simpler. Okay, so I'm gonna hang that from this side, and then, oh, my yarn's on the floor. Then I'm going to cut a nice long piece because this one I'm going to wrap multiple times around the head of my tassel, and I'll go back and do the same on my first one because I want to give it a little bit more definition. So, Kristen said, I always like to do, I think they're called a half hitch knots for the top and tassels so I can make them tighter. Ooh, I'll have to ask my husband how to do that. He is doing a work certification this week where he has to do a bunch of knots. So I'll have to ask him what knot I can tighten. That's a great idea, Kristen. Okay. So I'm going to try to get this guy even, and then we're going to wrap it a few times. Maybe make it a little shorter. There we go. To wrap it a few times. Do. And I like that. It's like probably wrapped 3 times. Then I can tighten it up and we'll really create like a better base than we have at the top of the other one. Andrew may think I'm crazy, but honestly, I've asked him much crazier things like what knot should I tie at the top of my tassel? He'll be like, Alex, what are you talking about? Gosh, y'all, it has been wild around here. I can't believe that summer has already gone, but honestly, at the same time, I kind of can because things have been so crazy in our house. Andrew's had this big class that he's working on this week, and so he's been working up to that for a while. And I thought that I'd just make things a little bit crazier, and I found a sectional that I really liked, and so we got a new couch this past weekend, and our anniversary is this coming weekend, so we're camping, and so it is just like, we are just hanging on by a thread here, honestly. So this yarn is pretty accurate, because that's kind of how things feel right now, but they will get a little better. It's just, whew. This time of year is always crazy, even though, like, obviously Carter's not even anywhere near in school yet. It feels like back to school is always just it's a super crazy season, I think, for everybody. Kind of adjusting back into like a regular schedule where things are a little bit more, you know, set in stone. Whereas like during the summer, we'd all just kind of wing it and do whatever. I do need 3 hands, Diana. I know. I'm like, I need an assistant here to hold my, to hold my stuff. All right, so we'll do our haircut now. Or we'll cut our loops first. I'm going to try to hold it this time because before I kept losing track of everything. It's a little easier if you can keep everything in your hand. Okay, I think we cut all the loops for the most part. Unless there's a couple of stray guys, which we'll just, yep, there they are. We'll just snip as we go. Oh my goodness, y'all. Thanks for hanging with me while I make this hot mess tassel. You know, Kristen, I have seen people with tassel makers, and that's what I was talking about. There's like a million different ways you can do this. I don't make tassels very often, so it's not something that like I really even put a lot of thought into, but if you did this a lot, I can see why that would help. You know what I really want that's like so ridiculous? I don't even know that I've ever... I do, actually, I have a tutorial on how to make a pom-pom, but they make pom-pom makers, and you guys, it's one of those silly craft tools that, like, I want one so much. But I'm like, Alex, you've literally probably made 5 pom-poms in your entire life. You do not need a pom-pom maker. But it just looks so fun. And when we were so this past weekend, because, you know, I just thought that I would just add something a little extra to my plate. I went to Hobby Lobby and we were looking for picture frames, but I ended up buying some fabric so that I can make a fall table runner. Will I actually make a fall table runner? We'll find out. Stay tuned. But that's what I went to Hobby Lobby for. And while I was doing that, Andrew took Carter down the yarn aisle. And he had the time of his life touching every single, what do you call this? Bundle of yarn? Ball of yarn? Whatever these are called. He was like touching every single one and having the best time. He also loved being in the fabric section because he was like stroking every single piece of fabric, and it was so funny. He was such a hoot. Skein, thank you. Skein of yarn is the word I was looking for. And he was just, especially like the big fluffy, you know, like I think, is it called, like when you crochet with your hands, the really, really big fluffy yarn. He was having the best. It was so cute. He was just having the time of his life, stroking all the yarn skeins. Yeah, Renee, I know. I was like, honestly, like, Carter, you have something there. Like, this is kind of fun. But, you know, and like little kids are so funny because they're just like discovering all of it for the first time. So like you would think that Carter had made some kind of like major discovery to touch all the yarn. But he was just living his best life. Him and Andrew were walking around doing that while I was waiting to get my fabric cut for me because it was taking a little while. And he was just living up his life. It was awesome. All the textures and stuff are just so fun for him. Today, I took him with me to the chiropractor, and he just gets more funny every day. And he's always like, he just loves discovering all the things. And it's so cute. So, of course, at the chiropractor, I had to keep him in the stroller so that he'd be contained, you know, since I was up on the table. And he also was a little concerned watching me get my back adjusted. He was like, Mommy, are you okay? But while I was laying there on the therapy table, he was just watching me and talking away. So funny. You guys, when he starts talking, Lord help me. Because he already talks to me so much and he doesn't speak English yet. But he's saying a few things. He says like, which I don't even know if he knows what it means, but he says mama, mama. So he talks a little bit, but you know, he's just mostly babbling and it's very sweet. That's right, Renee. Mommy and me crafting with DIY Alex. But honestly, it's so chaotic. That's why, like, it would be super fun if I could bring him live with me, but there's just like so much going on, especially here in this particular room. He loves coming in here because I don't really let him in here since I've got cords and chemicals and like all the things. In this room, he doesn't really come and hang out in here with us. But so when he gets to come in here, he like has an absolute ball. It's so cute. He loves it. Okay, guys, what do we think? Is it the best work of art I've ever made? No. But will it do? Yes, it will. For our at-home DIY birthday party, it will do just fine. I know, Kristen, like this room is like, it's very fun, but also for me, it's a little terrifying. His room is right across the hall. His bedroom is. And so whenever we play in there and I leave the door open, this is the first place that he crawls over to because he's like, let's touch everything. He loves my C-stand that holds my camera, which is fine because it's pretty solid, but also it's like so heavy. So he found a way to tip that over. Oh my gosh. It would be absolutely awful. So I have to watch him like crazy. That's why he's not really allowed in here. All right, folks, here's tassel number 2. I got to wrap this up because my babysitter is about to go home. So here's what tassel number 1 looks like. I still need to wrap around the top of this one. But here is tassel number 2. She's a little wrinkly. She's got curly hair instead of straight hair. But that's okay. We'll see how far I get on this little high chair banner for my Wild One birthday party. I'll keep you guys posted if I record things or if I just go live. As I make things, you guys can watch along the process. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I so appreciate you. And I have no idea when the next time we'll hang out is, but I'm sure I'll see you soon. All the hearts.